Hello and welcome. That random model, first episode of 2024. We are talking today about a new to the channel model. I got this on eBay, but more about that in a second. In the mid 1970s, Toyota started development on a two-seater commuter car that was intended to be not only a commuter car but economical to drive. That car, because of the gas crisis at the time, was something that was not intended to be a sports car, but it ended up being the Toyota MR2. Mid-engine, runabout, two-seater. This car was, again, intended to be an economical car. It was intended to be a commuter car, just like the Honda CRX, just like the Pontiac Fiero, just like the Nissan Pulsar, and the Honda CRX, if I didn't mention that before. And yet, Toyota at the time was trying to develop its image not only as a very reliable car, brand, but also as a sporty car. So they got together with Lotus, who helped them with the structure, the suspension, and they really had a very nice, economical yet sporty car on their hands. That car was sold from 84 to 89. This car came out technically in 89, but not sold in the United States until the 91 model year to 1999. And in that time, it underwent, I think, one, perhaps two facelifts. Getting to the model, we have a Fujimi kit and old yellowed instructions. I really like the Fujimi kits that have the map of the sprues and which pieces are used and which pieces are not used. If it's not used, it's grayed out. There's nothing here that's grayed out, but if let's say one of the instrument dashboards is intended to be an option, you'll see it grayed out right there and all. So that shows you what the option parts are. Very simple build. Fujimi, who is not a sponsor of this channel, is one of my personal favorite manufacturers. They do a very simple, clean, what's called a curbside kit. That means that there's usually no engine detail or anything like that. You don't normally open the hood. In this case, it's in the back. But the detail is saved for the quality of the build and the interior and the exterior. Everything's usually done to a very nice quality as far as not only the details but also the scale. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Now this is an old kit. This came out in the early 90s, and so these decals are yellowed. Not only are they yellowed, but it's possible that they could break apart as you put it together. A quick tip on how to prevent that is to overspray it with some clear and then cut around it. You probably want to go for 2 or 3 coats. Cut around it and then apply the decal as you would normally. But you might even go with an aftermarket option. Getting to the body. Now this is something I bought on eBay used. So getting this, it actually has been sanded on the seam lines. And I also noticed that it's been filled in on the license plate. Whoever had this originally intended to make it a very clean build. Fujimi made different versions of this. One had the different taillights, which is the facelift version. And as you can see, this is the T-top option. Now, the T-top option is actually what I'm calling in the description the unicorn model. It's very rare to find a kit a Fujimi kit with the T-tops. This is also true with the first generation one. So if you can find one, and that's what you're looking for, I would jump on it at just about any price. It's not uncommon to see those sell anywhere between $20 on up to almost $200. You have the T-tops, the glass T-tops, as well as the front and rear glass that has the T-tops cut out. You've got your fog lights. You've got your tail lights. I'm sorry, your marker lights, your tail lights. Good quality. Good quality. They're the rims and tires. It's a very nice design, the standard 5-spoke rim. This was something that was popular not only in the standard model, but also the turbo model that the North America got. Here are your optional left and right hand drive dashboards. Now, even though this is what they call a curbside kit, it will have a nice undercarriage detail. You will be able to see the engine from the bottom in the form of what's molded with the tub. And speaking of the details, here is the bottom. The nice markings. Of course, how you put the interior in. Of course, the rest of the interior. Your sport MR2 bucket seats. This is a really nice attention to detail that Fujimi does on some of their kits. You'll have wipers that are for the left or right hand drive dashboards. So in markets where you have a left hand drive dash, where the wipers go in one direction, if you're on this side of the car, the wipers go this way. If you're on this side of the car, the wipers go this way. And they'll have them molded directionally. So these mount on the left-hand side, the ones for the left-hand drive mount on the right-hand side. You have your spoiler. And the top part of the spoiler, I do believe that this is actually rare on the Fujimi kits too. Well, that's not a true biplane spoiler. This will line the trunk. You notice I said trunk, even though this is a rear or mid-engine vehicle. You've got the front access, which has your spare tire and your washer fluids and some other things like your radiator. And then you have your engine right here. And a trunk. You have a trunk right here. So it's actually a pretty usable car. Toyota had to naturally, genuinely design this as a two-seater commuter car, but with a flair for sportiness, not only in the development of the car, the suspension, the chassis, those things, but also in the look and the feel. This is a very exciting looking car. The cars at the time that I mentioned earlier, the Fiero, the EXP, which was based on the Ford Escort, these were all very exciting looking commuter cars, and so they were inexpensive, yes, but they were usable and they were sporty, and people didn't really have a tuner scene at the time, but people would modify them. People would try to do burnouts with their front-wheel drive vehicles. But this is definitely a very good kit to get. I picked this up for not very much money. Don't tell my wife how much I spent on this. It wasn't very much at all. I saw a joke recently that said Said if I died, I told my wife not to sell it for what I told her I paid for it. So anyway, this is the Fujimi kit. This is a very good looking specimen for the MR2. Again, the detail and the fit and finish, the exteriors are usually pretty nice to come out of the box. You just want to take care of the seam lines that are on the body, and some of the flash on the pieces. Just lightly sand them out, clean them up, then go to town with your primer, your paints, your decals, your clear coats, your finish. This turns into a really nice car. And T-tops were something that I always had a fondness for. This is was one of my favorite cars at the time. When this came out, there was a lot of excitement around it being the baby Ferrari, or poor man's Ferrari. As you can see, it has a very sleek, cutting shape, a very Ferrari-like shape. Interestingly enough, there was a body kit for this. Fieros, even though those were known for having plastic body panels that you could pull off and swap them out with other kits and everything, and you could have a very very ridiculous looking Testarossa or 512 or something like that, or a Lamborghini Countach. There was actually a body kit for this, and these are steel panels, not plastic. But there was a body kit for this that made it look like a very convincing Ferrari 355, which was the Ferrari sold at the time, with also very similar body lines. And I'm told the detail, you couldn't really tell the difference between the two. So this is a very exciting car. This is something that, of course, with the turbo, you had an increase in horsepower. You had a car that was definitely something that not only was good on gas, but was something that you could definitely take to the track, have fun with, look cool with the T-tops. Like I said, at the time, I liked the T-top option. I had a Nissan Pulsar at the time. More on that to come. Not today, probably not anytime soon, but we'll revisit the Nissan Pulsar at some point. They never made a kit of it, but they did make something else that was very similar, very neat. So Fujimi, again, makes very simple kits, usually just a very nice looking exterior, very well made interior. Usually they'll have options that give you a good choice. Like I said, this kit is actually kind of rare in the T-top form. Normally you would have the hardtop version. You can pick those up reasonably, I'd say between $30 and $50. This actually came to me with shipping for a lot less than $50. So this was something that I found, and I pounced on it as soon as I found it. Please do not drive the cost of these up on eBay. If you are looking for a T-top, please look for one, and please respect other people's bidding on them. But at the same time, if you don't care about the T-tops and you just want a hard top, you just want a version of this, you just want to tune it out, maybe make it look like something from Fast and the Furious or something else, get a hard top. They're a little bit more they're a little bit more common. They'll be a little bit less expensive, and it'll be worth your time. And these come in a few different options. There was a veil side version of it with a body kit around it and everything. That is expensive if you look for it. Of course, the Fujimi being the manufacturer of it, they just reused the body and then had different options. Zoom On, the company that I like to promote on here every so often. They do the little resin kits that I like. This is in the scale, by the way. They make a body kit for what was called the TRD 2000 GT version, which had a wide body version on it, and I think a different wing and different rims. That was a souped up version that was available only in Japan. So there's different options out there for the Fujimi bodies on this. There's different versions that Fujimi makes. Fujimi makes a mountain race series called Toge, Tohge. If you look those up, a lot of the Toyota and or not Toyota, but Fujimi cars, they'll have Toyotas like from Initial D. They'll have other cars that were good for drifting at the time, and a lot of exciting cars. But they'll have a lot of decal options and a few other options, different rims and stuff like that. So a lot of good options for this. A lot of good. A lot of good variety of what you can do. You can get race versions with decals and everything. You can make it look like a track car. You can make it look like a daily. You can make it look like a weekend roadster for having fun on the weekends. So that's my review of this. It looks like a really good, enjoyable kit. This was a different version. This Midship Express. I'm not too familiar with this version. If that was a series, I've seen Midship Express on a couple other Fujimi kits. It wasn't like their Toge version or the one that I showed a few weeks ago that I forgot to talk about the series. Oh, the mountain bike series. There was a series of mountain bikes that not only Porsche made, but BMW and Mercedes. That was a good, a fun review. We'll do a build on that pretty soon. Hasegawa does a first generation. Fujimi does a first generation too, but Hasegawa does one that has a lot of good options on it. They do a pre-facelift and a post-facelift version. For example, their detail is just a little sharper. They have good decals, and you can pick up one or two of those fairly inexpensive because they're newer kits, and you've got better options building those. But you have to know what you're looking for in order to find the T-top version of that. But it is doable, and it's doable on an inexpensive level. So you've got options. So if 1980s sports cars are your jam, I grew up on that. I love them. This is a good kit to pick up. This is more of a 90s version, but second generation. If you really like the Fast and Furious franchise, if you really like the Gran Turismo type games, this is a very, very good addition to your collection. So I recommend it without building it yet. I recommend this based on what I see in here. It looks really nice. It looks really good. Fujimis are known for their good fit and finish, and you'll probably have a good build. And this is one that I definitely want to start working on pretty soon. When I do, I'll have a video for that. In the meantime, I do have some build videos that are going to be coming up over the next month or two. I just finished one Monday on the first of the year. So we'll get to some more builds pretty soon. Thank you all for watching. For those that are watching this live, I really appreciate you being on. Thank you so much. And for those that may be watching this later, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy doing these, and I certainly hope that you enjoy them as well. Have a very good day,